Well, hello, it's the 22nd of November and it's pitch dark outside, which just shows that we're heading off towards the shortest day and Christmas is rapidly coming up, isn't it? And I'm Corinna Shepherd from Dancing Kites Creative Learning and here to talk with Vivek Rail from Wake Technology Integrators. And we're very privileged to have a guest today with us, Chris Ogle from Link for Growth. So a big warm welcome to you. And we'll have a chat in a moment about what you do and Okay, so we're going to depart from our usual agenda slightly because we're privileged to have this guest speaker. So what we're going to do is we're going to do obviously the introduction now, and then we're going to do our just a minute. So we're each going to have a turn about that. So introduce ourselves to users about what we do, what our passion is, and then we're going to have a chat with Chris Ogle about his Link for Growth network and his vision and passion that he has for that. And then he may or may not stay with us after that, but then we're going to do our trick or treat, so it's going to be slightly different this week. So I hope you enjoy watching our video. So Vivek, I'd like to start with you. Tell us your 60 seconds, please.
My name is Vivek, and Wake Technology Integrators is my company. I believe in living a simple life. I believe in thinking differently. I'm proud to share my beliefs with Steve Jobs and Leonardo da Vinci, who said, "Simplicity is the ultimate in sophistication." I always try to keep things simple to make life easy. Technology these days is rapidly changing. Social media, it used to be social media, I mean, people used to say that search engine optimization is all that is required. It's no longer so. Social media is a major component now. So if social media is confusing you, Google Plus and various other services that Google provides you, technology, IT, if all of that confuses you, I would say avoid the cowboys, let the Indian handle the technology, and you live a simple life. My contact details will be in the description for this YouTube video, as usual. And that was my just a minute. So I'm blue boxing you, Corinna, so it's your turn.
Okay, are you timing us again this week?
Not really, but...
Okay, all right. So I'm Corinna Shepherd, and I'm creator of Dancing Kites Creative Learning, and this has been a work I've been developing over quite a few years now, and it's really maturing and developing sort of year on year. I'm passionate about unlocking potential through creative and interactive learning, and I'm a dyslexia specialist, and I also work with other people who are not dyslexic, but all that I do is dyslexic friendly and creative, so it's about creative learning and creative thinking. So it really is about helping people design their kite with their life and helping it to dance and to be free to be who they really are and to find their purpose on the planet at the moment, which I think has some synergy with Chris Ogle's vision, which is really interesting. And we recently started dialoguing. So that's all I'll say for me for now, because I'd like to give a bit of time to Chris. So over to you, Chris, for 60 seconds or so. And Vivek will give you the blue box, I believe.
Okay, well, thanks for having me on the show. It's a privilege to be here and to have a chance to talk about Link for Growth, which is a concept which was born out of the time when I was networking elsewhere, and it sort of dawned on me that in the main, the people that could go and meet other people were typically people who were in business, and not only that, people who could afford to pay the fees to actually go networking. So what I wanted to do was create a new kind of environment where not only business people could go and meet other people, but anybody in the community could go and meet other people, because after all, the community is made up of all of us, not just people who are privileged to be in business. And consequently, now we're in a situation where we've got just such a wide diversity of people that are involved in Link for Growth, and it's incredibly healthy because you can talk to people from all walks of life, and it takes all walks of life to make up a community, and therefore we're now at last able to have everybody represented, not just a few business people.
That's great. Yes, you certainly have a lot of vision and passion for this, don't you? And there's a new development to my business which I haven't yet talked about publicly, but will become available. And I really felt it was good to connect with you about this, and we sort of connected on the same day as it happened. Wouldn't we do a synchronicity or whatever going there? So yes, I just like the energy behind it, and I think it is a fresh way of doing stuff. And we've talked about how you might sort of help me in my new venture, and obviously what I'm already doing. But we're also looking to, well, we are creating a coffee morning, aren't we, in Prestwood and Great Vissenden, a Link for Growth one, which we're really excited about. And I'm doing that together with Colin, who's a contact of mine. Just had a meeting, and yes, so that's good. So do you want to tell us a little bit about the different types of meetings? Because obviously there's the Link for Coffee. You've got a couple of other ones as well. Perhaps you'd like to unpack that a little bit for us?
Yeah, sure. I mean, clearly when you're talking about a diverse range of people in a community, there are people who can make events during the day, but there are people who work, and there are people who are unavailable at different times. And what works for some people doesn't work for others. So we've essentially got a number of different products, really, or events that people can sort of tap into. And one of them is the Link for Coffee, which you mentioned already, which is essentially it's an hour and a half. It's a drop-in session. It's not organised like the structured ones, and people just come along and get to know each other. Because at the end of the day, if you're gonna rebuild community, you've just got to find out about people. It's like it's not just about what they do. People aren't what they do. People are people. And actually, we rarely talk about business at these things. We just find out about who people are, what they've done, what experience they've had in the past, what problems they've got in their lives, whether that be personal, business. It doesn't really matter much. It's just, because when you talk to people and you find out these things, what you're looking for is an opportunity to provide them with a connection that can help them in their life in some way and make things easier.
Yes.
And you do that lots of times, and you end up. That's a reward in itself, is being able to help somebody else and know that they've actually got a problem sorted out and their life's a bit better because of it. And it all comes back to you in the end, because people want to know more about you if you're giving your time.
Absolutely,
and how they can help you.
Yes, yeah.
So we've got the coffees. And then we've got the evening drinks, which is another interesting one.
Yes.
That's exactly the same as the coffee, but it's in the evening in a bar, and people and instead of a coffee, you can have a glass of wine, but exactly the same principle. No difference at all. And then we've got the what we call the CSR luncheon, which is our corporate social responsibility luncheon, where we're introducing business people and charities and people who are working for social organisations and social enterprises, bringing those two groups of people together, because very often people who start a charity event or a charity organisation are basically not professional. They've not run a business before. They are just doing something that they're passionate about. And what you can do is link them up with business people who've got perhaps a bit more professionalism in certain areas.
Yes.
And those people can to find ways to help each other that they perhaps would never have done. And also give visibility to the charity, because there are a number of charities out there that just people don't know about. And they don't know about them because they don't have a marketing budget and they're not visible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So by getting them involved, you can start to showcase them and start to create that visibility, which then means more people were likely to support them. And these are so that's a really important event. And then we have a breakfast event, which is not like other breakfast events. It's just basically meet earlier and have breakfast.
Okay. Yes.
rather than do anything structured. And it's all these events are free to attend. There's no cost associated with any of these except for whatever you want to buy and
Yeah.
the refreshments you might like to have.
Good. Yeah.
So, and there's only one other thing that I'd like to mention really at this point, which is a thing called Open Source Link for Skills, which is where anybody in the community that has an expertise and an experience and some knowledge can basically create a workshop, which is a maximum half-a-day workshop.
Yeah.
Where those people can share the knowledge and expertise about a range of subjects with other people in the community, and there's a few caveats on what they can and can't do, but it's not an opportunity to sell. It's an opportunity to give people knowledge they can take away and start to implement straight away.
Right. And do the people who attend that, do they pay for it?
They do. It's a maximum of £15 though, so it's very affordable.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So that might be something for, well, possibly Vivek or myself to consider at some point. So
absolutely, absolutely.
And of course, you have the online forum as well, don't you? And you're very active on Google Plus, aren't you, with different communities and so on? So it's not just the physical meeting, is it?
No, absolutely.
I saw that you have 1,800 people in your circle.
Yeah, that's true, and you know, it grows quite quickly. Google Plus is a different kind of platform, but of course, what we're doing with Google Plus and Link for Growth is very powerful, because Google Plus is a platform which supports business, but it's also got a community angle. And when you take that community angle and you connect it with the way that Link for Growth is building communities, it becomes an incredibly powerful platform. Yeah. And people say to me, "Oh, there's nobody on Google Plus." I said, "Well, yeah, there are. There are loads of people on Google Plus." And actually, if you look at what we're doing within Link for Growth, there will be thousands upon thousands of people within Google Plus because of Link for Growth.
Yes, yes. Well, Colin, who I'm setting up this coffee morning with, obviously with your help, you know, I just spent a meeting with him just an hour this afternoon while you were chatting online and saying, "Are you going to join me?" I think, no, I'm in another meeting. And I set him up in Google Plus because he wasn't set up, and so he's going to be co-running this coffee group. And we were looking at the potential to link with other local groups. And you know, he's got a heart for the community and has had for years. And it's just really good to sort of link up with what you're doing there. And obviously, from my point of view, you know, I am passionate about community anyway, but obviously, I do want to sort of find business contacts through it as well. That's not the whole reason for doing it, and I just see the whole network as another way of maybe tapping into sort of finding the people that would really be open to what I'm doing in a greater way. So so I think it's really good. And you have the forum as well, don't you, as well as Google Plus?
Yeah, now what the difference is, and a lot of people get confused about this, Google Plus is open obviously to the world, and with the communities that we're building, we're kind of not opening it to the world, but each community in its own right should really be populated by the people that live around that community or have a reason to go there.
Yes.
The forum is a way of tying up these communities, the people that are kind of get what Link for Growth is about, and bring them together in a nationwide platform which basically mimics the ethics principles and the ambience of the Link for Growth events. And actually it does represent a very similar nurturing and supportive environment, but one that's online, where anybody can help anybody and connect to anybody that's around the country. And that's a really, I mean, it's really the jewel in the crown, because the people that are in there have all been to Link for Growth events.
Yes.
You all know what Link for Growth is about, and you can't just randomly join it. You kind of, because it's quite difficult to become registered unless you know the answers to Link for Growth type questions.
Yeah. No, it's good. In fact, this afternoon, while I was helping Colin and he was sort of setting up his profile, I went on the forum because I'm still finding my feet with it, as you know. It's sort of another thing to fit in. And I found the marketplace one. So actually, I got a special offer about some vision board and mind mapping coaching. As people, you know, book up now, and they can sort of take by the end of February. I'm offering a 10% discount. So I thought, great, going to put that on there and maybe get some interest, which would be good. So. So that was really helpful. So no, it's great. Is it national now? Because I know you started off in Hertfordshire, didn't you? I mean, we met a few years ago, so we're going back a few years, aren't we?
Well, in essence, Link for Growth's current structure was only really crystallised in July 2012. So,
okay.
so it took a little while to work out what we were actually trying to do. And
like me with dancing kites, the same sort of thing. Yeah. No, it takes time, doesn't it, to really develop it and mature it.
Absolutely, and from that point, where we were running 18 events a month, we're now running close to 65 events a month.
Wow.
And it's not national yet. We've still got lots of gaps, but we're now moving up Lincolnshire, up towards the Leicestershire, and with ideas with people just expressing interest in places like Derby and Nottingham. So we've kind of got that bit sort of mapped out all the way down to the home counties, and now we're kind of going, with your help, into Buckinghamshire, and you can see how that will just move up to Milton Keynes and then South Birmingham, and before you know it, we'll be sort of working our way up the M6. So.
And as you know, I seem to have a knack of getting people along to groups I don't even belong to or go to. So, who knows where this is going? But that's what it's about, isn't it? About people connecting, and it's organic, isn't it? And it sort of has a life of its own, really. So, yeah.
Especially, it's all very positive, because there's nothing. It's not focused on money. This is the key difference. It's not. It's not got this return on investment concept, because the whole essence of Link for Growth is about people and relationships.
Yeah.
And that's what's really important at the end of the day. And yes, the money is, you need money to live, and it does come, but it's almost like, well, if you do enough of the good stuff,
yes,
you're going to be rewarded. There's no question about that.
Yeah. No, I've read a lot about that, and my coach has said it and everything, and it feels a good way of doing it. I think we have a lot in common in terms of our motivation and so on. So it's great, to hook up again. So, Vivek, did you have any questions before we let this man go? If he wants to, he's got another networking group to go to, I think. Another.
I have, yeah.
Yes, Vivek, did you have one or two questions, or do you think we've covered it now?
One question I had was, how did you get to? 1,800 people who have you in their circles. How
did I reach that? Yeah, it's quite interesting. The clearly I'm fairly proactive on Google Plus, and what I do is I do engage with people who've got good content, and what I do is I sometimes share some of their things, and I've created a couple of other groups which are communities which people can now participate in, and through that, and through the sharing of that, and other people sharing that content, you get people start to follow you, and it's working quite well. I've been on Google Plus now for I guess 18 months or so. So I'm not by any means as prolific as some people who are in the tens of thousands already. So I'm doing it more of a staged approach.
It's quality, not quantity, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. It's not about the numbers at the end of the day. It's about engagement, and if you're not engaging with people, then
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good. I'm sure you could talk for hours about this. It's like me with dyslexia and Vivek with his integrating stuff. But your website, if people want to know a bit more, obviously they can contact myself about it. But if they want to look at your website for a bit more information, would you like to tell us what that is?
It's just www.link4growth.biz, and they can find out everything on there.
Yeah, and there's loads of information there, isn't there? So is there anything else you want to add, or anything you're burning to tell us?
If you want to link up on Twitter, then it's just @Link4Growth.
Okay, all right. That's great. It's been really interesting. Thank you ever so much for joining us. And welcome to stay or to go. It's up to you, but we're going to carry on with our bit now. But
you carry on and trick or treat, and it's been fascinating being here. And I'm really looking forward to the Presswood event. And it's been fantastic meeting you, Vivek. And I hope we see you at an event soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely. Thanks ever so much, Chris. Yeah, have a lovely weekend. Yeah, great.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, so am I getting the blue box now?
Yeah, you have the blue box now.
All right. Okay, well, I just find him really inspiring, and he just really, a lot of what he believes resonates with what I believe, and I'm sure with you as well about, being authentic and community and helping one another and making a difference. I mean, we were discussing that yesterday, weren't we? And you were saying how we both are here because we want to make a difference with people. So different ways of doing it. So watch this space. I'm delighted that he was able to come and join us. So we'll move on now, because obviously that's taken up a good amount of time, which is great, because he said 5 minutes, but it was so interesting. I wanted to just draw him out a bit more. I'm sure viewers will find that interesting as well. So I'd like to move on to the trick or treat section. And Vivek, what did you want to? I think you wanted to just chat about a few things this time, and then maybe next time demonstrate a few things. Just to bring the changes a bit. Anything particular that you want to cover, or?
This week too many things going on. So getting all those badges and so on. You were mentioning. And so many other things happening. So one thing that I noticed is some of the people don't have they have a YouTube channel, but either it is not active, they are not putting stuff onto the YouTube channel as frequently as they can. The other aspect is many of them go with the default channel art and so on, and they are not really using the means that are available to promote their own channel or their own Google Plus profiles and so on. So just before we started, I was setting up. Before I tell everyone else what they should be doing, I should do it myself. So I was.
Everyone else, stop listening.
I have just completed putting the Google Plus and YouTube and in fact all the social media channels, they are accessible through my signature now, email signature. So
great. I hope you can do that for me then.
Yeah,
we started it yesterday, didn't we? But it be a bit more involved, didn't it?
Yeah, mainly because the YouTube is evolving and it's changing because it's tied up so closely with the Google Plus now. So it's so many things are changing there. So it's even though you had set it up previously, it's probably not going to work as it is. So it needs change. So even on the website, if you have things set up, many websites I visited, I found that there is they have just G plus button, which is it just says that I endorse this website, which is the old fashioned thing. It used to be very valuable previously, but it is still valuable, but not as much. Nowadays you need to be able to share your content, because the very reason why you have put it up on the web is so that more people can see it, read it. So that's what I'm trying to
No, that's good.
There's a lot of change, so on each method actually.
Yes. I mean, what's good, I think you really add value, is the fact that you clearly have a lot of patience for this kind of stuff, and you also spend a lot of time in improving your knowledge. And you've been really instrumental in helping me with my YouTube channel, because you had a few hassles, didn't we, with my old one, and in the end, we had to create a new one, I had to upload all my videos and so on. But now, users viewers can find it at youtube.com/Dancing Kites Creative, and you've got over 40 videos there now, and I'm going to get the badges on and put the links in various places. And so it's been really valuable that you spend the time and then you can actually implement it. So yes, I could possibly work it out myself if I wanted to, but I've got too many other things I'm doing. It's not my priority. So that's where I think you really add value to people, and that's something you can obviously offer to other people as well. Because I think this whole business with YouTube and Google Plus helps with your SEO and the internet marketing. I think it's just important. So
the my main aim is actually to make things simple. So
yes,
to achieve what you were just explaining, there are complicated ways of doing the same.
Absolutely, yeah.
But you don't really need to. So
yes, you simplify it. So I think that's really something that your viewers can sort of buy into that and think, yeah, that's worth doing. So there's various ways that you can help people, and maybe that's the sort of way to start. And then there's lots of other ways, as we talked about, in terms of integrating the devices and all sorts of things that you know about with Joomla and so on. But maybe they might want to start with that, and then they find, oh yeah, you can help with that. So it could be a way into working with some people. So anyway, you've got your contact details in the description, as have I. So if people want to find out a bit more, then that would be good. Is there anything else you want to add about that before I do my trick or treat?
No, that's all I had for this week. So
no, that's great. That's great. I think sometimes it's good just to do the chatting, and it doesn't always have to be a video or this or that, does it? So yeah, that's great. So is it my turn for the blue box?
Yes, you have the blue box now.
Well, I thought, like you, I've had a very busy week with various things, and I was thinking, oh, what shall I talk about? And I thought, actually, I could talk about my books, because I haven't really featured my books much in the vlogs up to now, because there's lots of different aspects to what I do. It's always, what should I talk about now? And if people go to my web shop, which is on dancingkites.co.uk/shop, they'll see I've got 3 main books, which are dyslexia-friendly books, and I've got some e-books, and I've actually got loads written, which I'm waiting to have designed and published when I get a bit more money to do it, because I've done all this really on a shoestring. So, which is frustrating, but I'm still here and I'm still selling, and things are still moving forward. So I thought, why not just showcase that a little bit, and I can show the 3 books, and I thought I'd just read a poem from each of them, so viewers can get an idea of how mad I really am, if they're not really good at getting that, but also in terms of the language progression, which, okay, people aren't an expert, they won't necessarily know, but there's quite a difference between the first step and the third step. So I'll just show the covers for now. I can sort of do this. So this is, if I work out which way it goes, I have to work out the video. That's it. So there we are. So that's My Dog Nick, which is a step 1 book. So this is very much, well, for guidance, I've suggested that it's a spelling age 4 to 8. And I said a chronological age of 4 to 11, but I could have put 111, because actually my books, if people are a little bit mad and zany, then they'll people don't grow up really, and they'll probably enjoy it, and I have experienced that grown-ups appreciate as well as children. I haven't time to go into why my books are different and why they will work, but they're aimed with dyslexic children in mind, but they would work for anybody. They will work for children with other learning difficulties, autistic, for example. So there's lots of design features. Maybe I'll unpack that a little bit more in subsequent weeks. But I thought I would just read one of the poems from here. Oops, just throwing her book around. I'd bookmarked in the other bit. And very simple and very short, but very engaging for children, because I've trialled them at my centre. And I'll just show again if I can work out the dynamics. You see they've got, I have to go the opposite way. So there's lots of images that work together with the text. So I'll just read that out. And it's very much that the words and the pictures work together. And as you know, that's the picture superiority effect that we've talked about before. So very simple poem, but actually for a child who's struggling to read, they get this. They've got the engaging characters, and often that just inspires them in their imagination. One of my straplines for my book says it's engaging children in the world of words and imagination. And it is very much that. I think I've got limited imagination really compared to it. And I present a child one of these books and the story, you know, the poem, and they're off and they're doing all kinds of things. Particularly the third poem, which is my favourite one so far, and I'll read that, and maybe viewers will be going off themselves on this to where I'm, you know, taking them. So, you know, a bit of imagination, so quite good for Friday afternoon. So it's very short, but I will just read this. So this is the step one. Remember, this is the first step for the children. And there's the big red cat sat in a hat, the big red dog sat on a log, the big red fox sat in a box, and the big red grub sat in a tub. So it's all very tight, the language, lots of repetition, big red, and I've put big red in big red letters, and cat and hat rhyme, and dog and log, fox and box, and grub and tub. A lot of poems don't actually rhyme, and that's a particular style, but this is very much worked out with the language progression in mind, so there are no nasty surprises. If there is a slightly trickier word, there'll be a picture next to it to give the clue, so the words and the pictures are working together, and I've trialled it in terms of the white space and how it all works together and all of that. So yeah, that could just set them off, you know, and I've had lots of feedback about it's been great sense of achievement because they don't have to read too much and they're picking up a book. So that's good. They're also available on ebooks now, so if they want to read them on their mum's iPad, typically these kids borrow their mum's iPad and then their mum doesn't get a look in, so that's that. I'm just conscious of time, so I'll just show you book number 2, if I can work out the dynamics here. So this is Will the Wizard, Cast His Spell, and this is a step 2 book, and it's got a different colour round here. And for age guidance, I've suggested 6 to 13, so it could be 6 to 113. And the spelling age is 8 to 12. So the spelling age is very accurate because it's based on something called alpha to omega. So it's not just, oh, I've decided I'm going to put these words in. It's actually, I spent a lot of time thinking about which words to use and creating some fairly mad poems. So this one, which if you're a little boy, you'll probably appreciate the sentiments of this, and maybe you're a big boy. So very simple again, quite short, but lots of pictures. I will show you different illustrator. So it's a different style, but I'm trying to work out, yes, that's, ooh, so I've got a bit seasick here. So you see that the words and the pictures are very much part of yeah, they're working together. So here, it's not quite so obvious where you've got your cat, mat, bat, cat, you know, where the word and the pictures right next to each other. It's a little bit more separated, but it's still together. So it's about that progression, about the words and the pictures. So this one says, Will the Wizard cast his spell on all his friends and made them smell. So there you go. If you're a little boy, you might enjoy that. If you're a big boy, you might enjoy that. So it's the sort of thing that a kid would love, isn't it? So you just imagine casting a spell on your friends and then they, you know. So it's great. And I've tried these with the kids and they love it. So it gives me an excuse just to be a bit of a kid. But no, it's fun. It's great. And then book 3. So at the moment I've got the 3 main titles per step. So this is Through the Magic Window. This is a slightly smaller one because it's meant to be a little bit more independent. Okay, so the first 2, particularly the first one, is sitting down with a carer or using it at school, mum or dad, grandparent or whatever. Any of these books can be shared and enjoyed. With book 3, the age guidance is 10 to 15 or 115, and the spelling age is 12 to 15. So this is pretty much using, you know, all kinds of words. So compared to the cat sat on the mat type of level, this is very different. And I'm just going to read, and this is one of my favourite ones. I'll just show you the layout briefly. You've got the words on one, I haven't got my head around which way I'm going here, here we are. The words on one side of the page, and then they've got the picture on the other. Okay, so that's deliberate. So what we're doing is, the words are still part of the picture, but it's a little bit more divorced again. Okay, if that makes sense. So this one, and you know, just go with it, and you can go off in your imagination for Friday evening. So, so here we go. So it's longer. There's more words on it, and the spelling. If you think about the sort of words that are there, you'll see there's some more tricky words in there, like sphere, which has got a PH for an F, and that kind of stuff. So here we go. I float up in a bubble higher than the moon. I want to get to outer space, and hope I get there soon. I float on past a rocket and drift above a star. Sitting in my see-through sphere, I've really travelled far. You've disappeared, Vivek. You've gone off. You've gone off in your bubble. Where are you? So I love that one particularly. I mean, I'm fond of all of them, but you know, I've done this with some children at my dyslexia centre, and they take that and they're off, and there's all sorts of things going on, and they read that with minimal effort. They've been drawn into it, and they've enjoyed it. And I did a series of book signings at Waterstones, it must be 2 or 3 years ago now, I'm losing track of it. And actually I didn't get many dyslexic children coming. I suppose they're allergic to going into bookshops, but I had other children, and they loved them. You know, and I sold to quite a few people. So, you know, although they're dyslexic friendly, they would actually appeal to any child potentially. So that's sort of my treat, I hope, rather than a trick. Just to give viewers a bit more of an idea about my books and where they're coming from. But there's lots of information on my website at www.dancingkites.co.uk. You know, I write blogs, I've got lots of information, people can message me, whatever they want to know more. Of course, they'd like to buy a copy for Christmas. The e-books, I'm getting out of stock with the first 2 books because I've sold out for now. So so e-books isn't the more likely to be available, but hopefully they will come in stock again at sometime next year. And then maybe next year will be the year I can publish a few more, which would be fantastic. So that's me and my books. Anything you want to add or comment about? Or have you gone off in your bubble? Okay.
I was having to cough, so. All
right. You missed it. Well, I can read it to you again later if you like. Okay. Well, it's been really nice to chat again and have a bit of a catch up, and also to include Chris. But I think probably our time is up. It's you know, it's the end of a long, busy week for us both, isn't it? And lots of exciting things going on, and developmental stuff and personal development stuff. I know you've been reading up lots of things, haven't you, and working stuff behind the scenes. So we can catch up with that more fully next time. But for now, as the 2 Ronnies bit, so it's good night from me, good night from him. So I'm Corinna Shepherd from Dancing Kites Creative Learning, and I'm passionate about unlocking your potential through creative and interactive learning. And Vivek, who are you?
It's Vivek Bindur signing off, and remember, integrated, they live.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.